Okay, not sure if this is gonna be what I post or if this is a snippet, but if you're hearing this part, then I probably just said fuck it and I posted it. But I just I this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and while I'm never really someone who fully believes in the whole like everything is sunshine and rainbows that we kind of see in spiritual spaces, because I feel like that's very much ignoring a very important, very primal, very, I meant to say primordial, but I said primal. But in any case, it's both this very important aspect of ourselves, which is our darkness, right? We don't even want to think that we have darkness within us. But so I don't fully vibe with the whole only love and light. I think in order to know light, you need to know darkness. And in order to know darkness, you need to know light. There are some, regardless of this, there are some, sometimes I see, I don't often, I keep my, like, most of my algorithms, like, clear of, like, spirituality stuff. And I have, like, other means of, like, accessing spiritual spaces that doesn't sort of mess with my algorithm. But every now and then, I'll see like little like videos or something like pop up on YouTube. And usually, if this happens, it's anomalous for me. So I know that there's something there that I should look at. And every now and again, I will receive these videos in my algorithm, and the title is something like, open this now. Don't ignore this. You'll regret not opening this. And I can't, before I get into like my thoughts about this, um, sometimes it's not like anything within the video um, that pertains to me in any way, but the fact that it's but like the video itself. And I wanted to say that in case someone else who's listening to this comes across videos, any kind of like video, whether it be like these like channeled messages, tarot readings, or just like general like videos. Sometimes it's not just like the content that's in it that's for you, but just um like looking at it from a different perspective, right? Maybe it's like the vibe, and it's like whatever your intuition is trying to tell you is like more the vibe of the video and not the content, or like whatever else, right? And I think I just wanted to point that out for anyone that like, um, well, I'll get into it, but so these like titles, right? These like, it's almost like call to action, but it's not just call to action. It's just like a very um, like I want to the only word that I can really think of is like fear mongering. Like it feels like you have to do this right now, or else there is consequences. You'll like miss out. Um, and that's kind of like the more lighter end of the spectrum of what you might experience, um, to like whatever else. They usually don't say like whatever, like what will happen, but there is some kind of a implication that something bad will happen if you don't open this right now. And I really just like, I don't like using the term hate because I don't experience it very often, but I really heavily dislike these types of like attention grabbing type titles. Um, because for one thing, like I understand you want people to click on your video, but you really have to look at it from outside of yourself. There are people out there who have anxieties, people out there who, and usually these videos, when they have this sort of like call to action in the video itself, there's some sort of like fear based kind of messaging, right? So not only are they clicking on this video because they're already anxious, now they're like listening to this message that's like warning them or something. And while I understand, like, yes, like warn people and like um pass on the messages that you receive as like a channeler, pass on the messages that you receive, but there's a way of doing it, and you can do so without being tactless. I think you should definitely be more considerate of people, instead of like looking for the most like clickbaity title you can think of. It really just like, I find it to be very like lowbrow and very like, it reminds me kind of like like shock horror or something. Not that there's anything really wrong with like liking shock horror, but it's like if you use it in excess, it almost feels like you don't actually care about the craft. You just care about having eyes on it, right? You're not caring about people enjoying the process or absorbing your information. You just want a reaction. And I have to say, like, I just feel the same way about these like warning type of titles and like messaging. Again, like, I don't think it's wrong to like talk about negative stuff, but I feel like there's a way of talking about it where you can deliver people the truth and the messages that you receive without needing them to get emotional or like um, needing a response from them that has a negative emotional impact on them, if that makes sense. The way that I could only like compare this is like, and maybe this will trigger some people or make people feel called out, but this is the only example I can think of. Um, but if you're like not getting a lot of attention from your romantic partner and you decide to like make them jealous, right? By flirting with like whomever. Instead of just like talking to the person, like your partner, your romantic partner, and just like explaining to them that, hey, like I just have recently just felt a distance between us. Can we like talk about this? Because that's the more difficult thing to do is to like confront your partner and be like, hey, there's something wrong in our relationship, or I don't feel loved by you right now. You decide to do like the easier thing, which is to like flirt with someone else. And this has a negative emotional impact on your partner who becomes jealous. Jealousy isn't To feel jealous isn't like, it doesn't feel good to feel jealous. Um, because and we can go into talking about like how it can be connected to like um low self-worth and all this stuff, but I don't want to get into that right now. What I'm saying is like you're not thinking about your partner and how they feel when you flirt with someone else to get their attention. Like they're not looking at it like, oh, my partner, or maybe they are looking at it as like my partner just wants my attention. But at the same time, like you feel it's almost like that your partner will get jealous, so you do the thing, right? And again, jealousy isn't a good feeling. If they were someone who doesn't get jealous, then you wouldn't be doing the thing to make them jealous, which is inherently not a feeling that feels very good to feel. Does that make sense? um, so it's almost like you need a someone to feel negatively about something, or just like you need someone to feel negatively in general in order them in order for them to have a reaction that um, causes them to do the thing that you want them to do, right? So in the case of this like example of this like couple, the jealous partner may give the other partner get like possessive and um, you see this trope like often in like media and um, like she's mine or he's mine or whatever, right? And that's kind of what the partner who was feeling neglected kind of wants. And similarly with these like videos that you see with like spiritual messages, it's like it gets people to click on the video because like if you're anxious, and let's be real, I feel like most of us these days are at some level, if not diagnosed with anxiety, we have some form of anxious feelings because that's just how things be, you know? So it's like preying on people's um fears and their anxieties in order to get what you want. And I think that's shitty. And I don't think we should be doing that anymore. So this is for people who do that. Just like think about how it's affecting people, right? Um, it's not kind to play with people's um, feelings and their emotions and make them all jittery and nervous. And especially if you're doing this and you do this a lot with your videos, maybe consider not doing that. Or again, like I said, you don't have to rescind your messages or anything, but put more effort into wording them in a way where it doesn't have to be like spoon fed to like the viewer, but like in a way that's not completely tactless and predatory. And to the people um who do get anxious and see these videos, just know that like it's how would I how do I word this? Quite simply put, don't worry about it. Like seriously, it's just a tactic. It's a marketing tactic. It's the same literally as like clickbait titles on videos on like any other YouTube video. It's just to get you to click on the message. And if there's like messaging within the video that's like kind of fear mongery, then my best advice here is to like take a step back, instead of like reading or like listening to whatever it is that is being said. Um, take like look at the bigger picture of what the message is. How can I give like an example? Look at the symbolism, right? So let's say the video says something like, "Oh, something bad is going to happen to your pet tomorrow." If you don't watch this video, or even if you're like listening to it, they say something about like something bad happening to your pet, and there's like 50,000 people who have watched this video already. You can't tell me that all 50,000 people are going to have something bad happening to their pet tomorrow. Just like logically, rationally, statistically speaking, like from like a numbers perspective, that's not possible, right? Um, and you may have a few stragglers in there who does unfortunately have something bad happen to their pets, but that's just it's just something. It's not because of the video or because they didn't listen to something in the video. It's just that was just what was written as happening, right? That was just like what had to happen at that time. So when I said symbolically look at what it means, I would suggest, if you don't already, look at like symbolisms of death and death of loved ones, right? Not just like pets, because your pets are your loved ones, but like what are this? It's mourning, it's grief. You may lose something that's important to you, right? Look at these things. Don't look at just specific examples that are out there to like cause fear in you, but rather look at the messaging, um, the bigger picture messaging, right? The broader message. Or what I usually do is like if I see something like this, I'll just say, you know what, I'm not entangling myself with this, and I just say like, if there is something that needs to get through to me, please speak to me in a way that I want to be spoken to. Um, and the universe will deliver the message to you in a way that's more easier for you to digest and understand and accept, right? You are at the end of the day in control of your space. And I think it's so important for people to know and understand that. As you listen to this now, you may not understand it, but um, I hope that as you progress, as your life progresses, that you do come to understand, and just like know how much power that you truly have.